So Canelo Alvarez and the future of his career has been interesting over the last 24 hours. It's currently Friday. I don't know when this video is going out, but we need to talk about it. So Canelo versus Terence Crawford was in negotiations. I made a video about that. We've been talking about that for the last year maybe. And then it seemed like it was going to be finalized. The Ring Magazine, which is owned by Riyadh Kingdom, Turki Al-Sheikh, which kind of manages Bud right now in his career, it kind of was like, it's gonna happen. And then randomly out of nowhere, the fight gets canceled. It's over. The fight's off. That's all they said. Canelo versus Crawford is off. And then the fight, Canelo versus Jake Paul, comes about. And my first thing, my initial reaction, BS, man. That's not happening. Canelo going to 200 pounds to fight Jake Paul. He's gonna get stripped of every title, or he should get stripped of every title. And that's floated around for, let's say, less than 24 hours maybe, and then that fight shot down. It was thrown out there by Eddie Hearn. Mike Coppinger reported it. ESPN might have reported it for a while, and then it gets shot down immediately. And then when all hope fails, we're all scrambling. What's the next fight for Canelo? Was it Jermall Charlo, Christian Mbele, Diego Pacheco, Iglesias? What's gonna be the next fight for Saul? And then the blockbuster deal gets signed. Canelo 4-fight deal with Saudi Arabia's Riyadh Kingdom. And it's pretty damn interesting. So yes, he's gonna be fighting Terence Crawford. This is signed. This is done, right? This is what the Ring Magazine, like I said, which is owned by the Riyadh Kingdom, has posted on Twitter. He's gonna fight Terence Crawford September of 2025 in Las Vegas. Then he has 3 other fights, which is gonna be in Saudi Arabia. Just for reference, let's pull up the jig calendar right here. We're gonna have Jermall Charlo or Bruno Suras. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He was the guy who just knocked out Jaime Munguia in December. So those are the 2 potential opponents for May in Saudi Arabia. That will be this May in a couple months. And it's a decent, I'm not gonna say homecoming, it's not his home, but it's a decent welcoming party to Saudi. Let's give you an easy fight. We don't want you to lose your first fight on the Saudi cards. Let's give you Jermall Charlo, right? A guy who's established in the sport. A fight that should have been happened by now. Not a great fight, but it's a winnable fight that we're going to enjoy here. Well, let's give you Bruno Suras. I hope I'm pronouncing that right again. A guy who's building some momentum for himself in this division. It's not a great fight. It's not Benavidez. It's not Bivol. It's not Beterbiev. But it's an okay fight. Like I said, in September, we're going to have Terence Crawford in Las Vegas, also sponsored by the Riyadh Kingdom and Turki Al-Sheikh. And then in February of 2026, and about a year from now, we're going to be looking at the opponents. I got it right here, which will be Dimitri Bivol, Hamza Shiraz, or Chris Eubank Jr. So, one interesting opponent there, and that'd be Dimitri Bivol, assuming Canelo's going back up to 75, assuming Dimitri Bivol beats Beterbiev in a couple weeks here, and then he beats him in a rematch later this year. Canelo will look to fight him in February of 2026 if given the opportunity. And then we have Hamza Shiraz, which is a great middleweight. He's probably the second best middleweight on the planet right now. He has a title fight coming up on that Bivol Beterbiev card on February 22nd against Carlos Adams, the WBC 160-pound middleweight champion. And then we have Chris Eubank Jr. Not too much going on with Chris Eubank Jr. outside the Conor Benn fight. And then we look a bit further to October of 2026, which is to be announced. There has been no potential opponents thrown out there. Maybe we can expect David Benavidez. Maybe we can expect Canelo to move up to cruiserweight. He's been hinting to move up to cruiserweight for about half a decade now. Now he's going to get his ass whooped. He's going to get beat on, depending on who he fights. But maybe he moves up to cruiserweight. Maybe he shoots for that 5-division champion. It seems like Canelo's getting back up. He's kind of been not taking the worst fights, but there's better fights on the table, and he's been taking the easier fights. So maybe he's getting back up to get these harder fights done and, kind of cement his legacy and get up out of the sport. So Jake Paul is off. Please thank the Lord above that fight is not happening. Terence Crawford is back on. I don't think it was ever off. I don't see how much could change in a 24-hour span. So Crawford's on. Paul's out. We're going to be looking at Jamal Charlo or Bruno Saras. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And then we're going to be looking at Dimitri Bivol in February of 2026 in the Riyadh Kingdom, by the way. Dimitri Bivol, Hamza Shiraz. If you guys haven't checked him out, make sure you go watch him. Watch the Mo Williams fight, Tyler Denny fight. He's a great prospect out of the UK. Real long middleweight, 6'3". Or Chris Eubank Jr. next February. And again, that would be in the Riyadh Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And like I said, October, we do not know. But I want to know what you guys think. How do y'all feel about all this news? It's a lot to process. We don't really know where Canelo wants to go with his career. Do you want the money? Do you want to cement the legacy? Do you got 4 more years in the sport? Is this your last, hoorah out of the game? We don't know where Canelo's at in his career. I want you guys to let me know what do y'all think of this whole thing. Where do you think Canelo stands out in his career? And I just cannot wait to see what happens.